The disabled tyrant's beloved pet fish. Transmigration. Chapter 34. Successfully obtaining the chance to kiss his tyrant master's lips, Li Yu felt like a firework exploded in his heart. He kissed his master's mouth before as well, but maybe because he was too focused this time, he felt somewhat overwhelmed. After he finished kissing, he laughed giddily for a while and bounced back into the fish tank. Then, he discovered that the last step of the tyrant's guppy pet fish, have an intimate contact with the tyrant, didn't actually update into completed like he thought it would. Li Yu was distressed. Could it be that his assumption was wrong from the start? That kissing actually wasn't enough to complete the task? The system finally couldn't resist warning him, host, because you have done the same action before, it can't be considered anymore. Li Yu. Was what the shitty system meant that because he already kissed Jing Huan on the mouth before, so the second kiss didn't count? Li Yu was very angry. The first time, he did it accidentally. This time he was kissing him earnestly. This was not the same, right? Also, if a repeat wasn't allowed, why wasn't he warned earlier? System, before the host actually took this action, there was no repetition. Li Yu was very disappointed. Fine. You shitty system. You have a point. Li Yu originally thought that completing this step would go smoothly and without a hitch, that he was almost about to obtain the reward and almost able to start the Become a Koi side quest. Yet the shitty system ended up tripping him over. If this didn't work, how else can he have an intimate contact with his tyrant master? The system said as usual, please think about it yourself, host. Li Yu. This system was really too annoying. He was already so close. Li Yu was so pissed at the shitty system that he blew bubbles all night. When he got up in the morning, his fish eyes were even sore. He discovered that there were dark spots under Jing Huang's eyes as well. Jing Huang probably didn't sleep either. Li Yu instantly felt that he and his tyrant master were both rather pitiful. A servant came by to tidy up the bed and discovered the wet spot left behind on the pillow by the little carp. The blankets were also somewhat wet. The servant reported this to Jing Huang. Jing Huang only waved his hand and let the servant change everything with new beddings. Before doing this task, Li Yu wasn't very confident, but now he can finally feel relieved. Jing Huang definitely knew he jumped over during the night, yet the other didn't get angry. Didn't this mean that Li Yu can continue to jump over Jing Huang's bed in the future? Unfortunately, he thought for a whole night but still couldn't come up with anything that could count as an intimate contact. It wasn't really that he couldn't think of anything. But rather, there were plenty of places where a person could be kissed. The fish just needed to pick a relatively less embarrassing choice from a number of utterly shameless choices. Also, it must be something that he's never done before, that made this even harder. For example, Jing Huang's face. As a fish, Li Yu often rubbed against that, so it definitely wouldn't count. Li Yu was just racking his brains thinking about places other than the face when Wang Gonggong came to report that the heir of Chang'an Palace had arrived. Jing Huang felt that he couldn't keep the Carpia trapped inside the room all day, not to mention that Yeshizi was very familiar with Xiao Yu as well, so he simply carried Xiao Yu outside to see Yeshizi with him and let it get some fresh air. Yet Ying Huan was presently flushed with success. His marriage with the princess of Jinju had already been set to a date 2 months later. With the relationship between Jing Huang and Chang'an Palace, of course Jing Huang was on the invitation list. Yeshizi was very sincere. Not only did he come in person to give Jing Huang the invitation, he also carried over 2 jars of liquor in his hands. Grandpa made these 2 jars of green plum wine personally and made me promise to bring them to you. Yeshizi placed the liquor down. At this time, Li Yu recalled that in the novel, Chang'an Palace's green plum wine was also mentioned. Yet Xing Huan's grandfather, the old Duke of Chang'an, who was also Jing Huang's maternal grandfather, once made green plum wine for each of his sons and daughters. He buried them in the ground to ferment, intending to take them out to drink and celebrate whenever his sons and daughters got married and settled down with their own family. This was originally a very tasteful tradition. But when Jing Huang's mother entered the imperial palace, the wedding wasn't held at their home. Therefore, this wine was left behind. Before, there was never a suitable time to bring it out. Later on, Empress Xiaohui passed away. Even if he wanted to gift it, it was no longer possible. Nowadays, the old Duke of Chang'an also started fermenting wine for his grandsons. He ordered Ying Huan to bring both his own share, as well as Empress Xiaohui's share to Jing Huang. The old Duke of Chang'an's health hadn't been very good these last few years. He has been quietly recuperating inside Chang'an Palace the entire time. He couldn't leave the estate easily but still kept in mind his grandson who was living alone in the Jing estate. As a prince, Jing Huan could intuitively understand certain things. He understood the meaning behind these 2 jars of wine that Ying Huan brought over specifically and lightly caressed the jar of wine that belonged to his mother, emotions filling his eyes. Then Jing Huang accepted the wedding invitation and looked it over. For once he didn't order people to throw his cousin out. Instead, he ordered Wang Shi to find Yeshi a seat. Ying Huan was overwhelmed by this gesture and swiftly sat down. Thinking about what he had seen on his way here, the overly familiar Yeshi asked, "Oh right, on my way here, why were there builders all over your estate? Are you making a huge renovation?" Ying Huan saw fences in many areas in the Jing estate and heard the sound of non-stop chiseling. Having known Jing Huang for many years, he knew how cold this person was. Jing Huang have never paid attention to the layout and design of Jing estate. Ever since he moved in, it has never changed. This was the first time he had seen such large-scale construction. Was it because he was about to get married that Jing Huang felt a bit envious and wanted to get in on the action as well? If this was really the case, Ying Huan felt pretty pleased with himself. Jing Huang gave Wang Shi a look. Wang Shi stepped forward and mercilessly shattered Yeshi's fantasies. "My lord, His Highness is making a new fish tank for Master Xiao Yu." Ying Huan? So it wasn't because of him but rather, it was because of the fish? Yeshi, whose beloved dog couldn't compete with a fish, and he himself also couldn't compete with a fish. "Tianqi, aren't you overdoing it?" Yeshi couldn't resist grumbling. Li Yu was thinking about that intimate contact mission in the fish tank beside Jing Huang's hand when he suddenly heard the talk about a new fish tank. Li Yu immediately swung his tail excitedly. As he swung his tail, he pondered over Yeshi's words. Recently, he had been keeping inside Jing Huang's room and didn't come out because of his scales. Jing Huang was always watching over him, so he basically couldn't find the chance to activate his transformation skill, thus he didn't know that Jing Huang was building a new fish tank. If it was building a new courtyard, Li Yu wouldn't have known who it was for. However, the new fish tank was definitely for him. Jing Huang only had one fish, Xiao Yu. Although his tyrant master no longer petted him, he still treated Li Yu so well. Li Yu squeezed out a little water from his fish eyes and voluntarily swam next to Jing Huang's hand, nudging Jing Huang's fingers with his fish mouth. Jing Huang was currently listening to Ying Huan's whining, which was going in one ear and out the other. From the corner of his eyes, he saw the black shadow swimming over from the fish tank. The familiar feeling under his fingertips made him reflexively cover the fish with his palm without thinking. It wasn't until his hand grabbed the fish's tail and twirled it in his hand that Jing Huang finally realized what he did. Temporarily distracted, he actually groped a carpiao. Jing Huang instantly regretted it somewhat. Before he didn't know better. But now that he knew, how could he still casually pet the fish? Still, the fish was presently twirling around under his palm. Jing Huang stopped moving, but the satin-like tail continued to slide back and forth between his fingers. After raising the fish for so long, he knew this was Xiao Yu expressing his happiness. Almost like Xiao Yu didn't mind at all, and perhaps, even liked it a lot. Jing Huan slowly smiled. Did this mean that Xiao Yu was the same as him and wanted to continue this way? He was feeling a little unhappy about the thought of his deceased biological mother whom he never came to know. However, that sadness was swept away by Xiao Yu's tale. Jing Huan didn't withdraw his hand again. Li Yu yelled excitedly, "Oh, oh oh! He's stroking me again." Xuěshān was about to get married, so his courage also grew bolder. Noticing that he was getting the cold shoulder, he let out a huge series of complaints in front of Jing Huan. Yet when he looked back, Jing Huan was completely focused with single-hearted devotion on touching the fish and didn't listen to any of his words at all. Xuěshān. Really? This was enough. He would admit defeat, all right. Xuěshān carefully leaned closer and said with a smiling face, "Tianqi, can I pet Xiao Yu for a bit? In exchange, you can pet Xiongfeng all you want." Although Ying Huan always compared Xiongfeng with Xiao Yu, he had long been craving to pet the slippery little carp. "Who wants to pet your dog?" Jing Huan narrowed his eyes in displeasure. To the side, Wang Shi immediately understood and quickly about to order for people to carry Xuěshān away upon Jing Huang's indication. "My lord, you forget again. His Highness doesn't like it when other comes to him with conditions," Wang Shi said, resenting that the other failed to meet his expectations. "This counts as discussing conditions as well." Ying Huan was stunned. "My lord, of course it does." Wang Shi continued to say. "His Highness also doesn't like others petting his fish even more. To not directly throw you outside right now was all because of His Highness' respect to the old Duke of Chang'an," Wang Gonggong said silently in his heart. Ying Huan. Xuěshān could only stand pitifully from afar, helplessly watching his cousin pet the fish. He originally came to the Jing estate to flaunt the fact that he was about to get married. Yet now he was being dazzled by Jing Huan in return. Suddenly, Xuěshān discovered another surprising thing. His eyes widened. The fish that Jing Huan was touching had gold on its tail and stomach, like it wasn't the same fish as before. Xuěshān stared for a long time, and thinking that he couldn't have mistaken, he asked, "Tianqi, did you change fish?" Jing Huan completely ignored him. Wang Shi said with a smile, "My lord, what are you saying? It's not a different fish. Master Xiao Yu is the one who changed scales. Fish can change scales. How come I never heard of such thing before?" Ying Huan was full of disbelief. Jing Huan gave him a cool glance. Wang Shi immediately said, "My lord, just because you haven't heard it, doesn't mean it doesn't happen. Moreover, doesn't Xiongfeng also change fur?" Ying Huan had no choice but to nod his head. Xiongfeng did shed fur, and it would leave a pile of dog hairs inside Chang'an Palace each time, but Xiongfeng wouldn't change color all of a sudden, right? However, Jing Huang's fish have always been much smarter than ordinary fish. Perhaps it's just not the same. Ying Huan blinked and convinced himself. Actually, Jing Huang had no need to lie to him. If he made Jing Huang unhappy, he'd probably get thrown out immediately. All right. For Xiao Yu to actually change scales. It's pretty impressive. Ying Huan racked his brains and finally squeezed out this praise, attempting to leave Jing Huang a good impression. Jing Huang gave Xuěshān a cold and lofty nod. Li Yu, who was currently enjoying the sensation of being stroked so much that his tail trembled, "Xuěshān, great minds really do think alike." Ying Huan's hard effort earned him a meal from Jing Huang. Of the green plum wine that the old Duke of Chang'an fermented, Wang Shi already stored away the jar that belonged to Empress Xiaohui. Ying Huan patted the other jar and said, "Grandpa made this one for me. Let's taste it together." Jing Huang didn't comment, but Wang Shi guessed his master's thoughts and brought over 2 ceramic cups for Jing Huang and Ying Huan to drink out of. The jar of wine was opened. The sweet aroma of the green plum rose first, followed by the fermented smell of alcohol. Wang Shi used a long-handled silver ladle to pull out all of the green plums from the bottom of the wine jar, scooping them into a white porcelain plate on the side. According to this dynasty's customs, when drinking green plum wine, the green plums were not used. However, some people liked eating the green plums. Therefore, Wang Shi used this method to make it easy for Jingwang and Yeshizi to access them. The crystal fish tank that Li Yu resided in was also placed on the table. Currently, he had the special honor of dining together with his tyrant master. While Wang Shi prepared the green plum wine, Jingwang fed Xiao Yu a handful of the red-colored fish food and then broke apart half a piece of peach blossom cookie. Li Yu ate the fish food and peach blossom cookie. Normally he should have been satisfied. However, when the green plum wine was opened, that aroma really smelled delicious. Even the fish inside the fish tank could smell it. The hunger bug in the fish's stomach was hooked and called non-stop. Holding a piece of peach blossom cookie, Li Yu floated on the water's surface, smelling the sweet aroma of the green plum wine non-stop. He also really wanted to drink green plum wine, but Jingwang definitely wouldn't let a fish drink liquor. It's fine if he just watched Jingwang and Yeshizi drink, right? Jingwang finished feeding the fish and then ate the rest of the peach blossom cookie. Yet Ying Huan watched in envy on the side, feeling like he must have been an idiot just now to think that Jingwang would raise a different fish. Wang Shi poured the wine for the two people. The green plum wine was poured into the exquisitely made ceramic cups, looking like the nectar of gods. Jingwang lowered his eyes and gazed at the clear-colored drink. Thin long fingers slowly fiddling with the edge of the cup, he raised it in toast and had a light sip. Yet Ying Huan over there already raised his hand and drank his cup in one gulp. Good wine. Yet Ying Huan wiped his mouth and praised it with a smile. Not waiting for Wang Shi to pour again, he filled the cup himself. Li Yu, who was secretly watching these two people drinking, "Master is so handsome, so refined." Yeshizi, that's called drinking like a cow. The aroma of the green plum wine permeated the air, tickling the fancy of the fish. Yeshizi's obvious enjoyment made the fish crave it even more. With the way Ying Huan drunk, Jingwang just finished enjoying one cup when Ying Huan already finished 3. With 3 cups taken in quick succession, the roots of Yeshizi's ears gained a red color, his eyes also started to lose focus. "Tianqi, this wine. Grandpa also made one for you, waiting until you," Ying Huan hiccuped as he said, smiling. Jingwang was stunned momentarily. He put down his wine cup and ordered Wang Shi to fetch some soup to help Ying Huan to sober up. Some people only knew how to sleep while drunk. Others ranted non-stop. Yeshizi counted as an intermediate of the two. After getting drunk, he loved to grab onto people and say a whole bunch of nonsense. Jingwang saw Ying Huan was about to tilt to the floor and had no choice but to reach out and give him a pull. This was how Ying Huan ended up clinging to him and began narrating an entire story about how when he was young, he climbed on a building inside the Chang'an Palace, lifted the roof tiles and received a spanking from his parents. Jingwang actually listened spellbound for a good while. Li Yu knew that Jingwang was perhaps thinking about when he himself was younger. Afraid that Jingwang would feel sad, Li Yu hastily splashed around a bit in the water. Jingwang heard the sound of fish smacking the water and turned his head to look at the fish. His gaze met Li Yu's, who felt relieved. Wang Shi spent quite the effort to hold Yeshizi down and give him the sobering soup. Yeshizi was still talking non-stop. In the end, he blurted out that he didn't want to get married. Li Yu. So even such a bold and outgoing person like Yeshizi had premarital jitters. One shouldn't really judge a book by its cover. It's not likely you couldn't understand it. Ying Huan and the Princess of Jinju were two people who barely spoke to each other after all. Yet they had to get married and live together for the rest of their lives. Feeling at a loss was just normal. Perhaps Yeshizi wanted to use this kind of method to control the fear that he couldn't speak out loud to others. However, Jingwang had no sympathy for Yeshizi's feelings. Also, Ying Huan couldn't stand taking care of drunkards. He ordered Wang Shi to look after Ying Huan and brought the fish back inside the room himself. Just now he watched from the corner of his eyes as Xiao Yu stared non-stop at his ceramic cup. He figured Xiao Yu must be having a craving. However, green plum wine couldn't be drunk randomly. Ying Huan was the perfect example of that. Just look at him right now. Still, Ying Huan was willing to satisfy the Carpiao's needs. After thinking for a moment, he grabbed the plate of green plums that Wang Shi scooped out. If he just gave the Carpiao some green plums to eat, and not the wine, it shouldn't be a problem. Li Yu saw Ying Huan carry him, as well as the green plums, and immediately wagged his tail vigorously and cheerfully. Ying Huan planned to give him the green plums, right? Definitely, right? Surely. Ying Huan returned to his room. First he placed the green plums down. Then he saw the little carp turn its head and stare impatiently at the green plums. Ying Huan smiled and then also put the fish down. At this time, Wang Shi ran in to say, "Your Highness, Yeshizi doesn't seem very good. Would Your Highness please go take a look?" Inside Jing Estate, Wang Shi normally made the decisions whenever Ying Huan left. However, Ying Huan was the heir of Chang'an Palace. Wang Shi didn't want to exceed his position too much. In an urgent situation, it's better to ask Ying Huan for instructions. Therefore, Ying Huan also knew that a difficult situation where Wang Shi couldn't really make decisions might have occurred, and he needed to personally see to it. He was just about to pet Xiao Yu on the head when he discovered that the Carpiao had been staring at the green plums this entire time, not even realizing that he was about to leave. Ying Huan instantly felt that the green plums that he brought over were somewhat vexing to look at. A fish couldn't eat green plums, right? Ying Huan suddenly realized. He abruptly remembered that in the last few days while Xiao Yu was losing scales, he often remained by the fish's side. Although Xiao Yu changed scales, ever since returning from the imperial palace, it never changed into a human again. Did he need to walk away for the fish to transform? He originally planned to mash the green plums into pieces to feed the fish. Now, he decided against that. If he left the Carpiao a plate of green plums, would the carp demon change form? Ying Huan gave the fish a deep gaze and then hurriedly left to have a look at Yeshizi. Li Yu stayed well behaved inside the fish tank for a while, making certain that Ying Huan really left before finally using the transformation skill. Ever since returning from the imperial palace, he hasn't found an opportunity to shapeshift. Ying Huan always guarded by his side. Although he was very touched, it was not very convenient. Even though he could only maintain human shape for an hour, it was enough time for him to eat something and play a little. Right now there wasn't any urgent business. He definitely could shapeshift for the sake of green plums and eat to his heart's content. There were several green plums on the plate. He watched as Wang Shi scooped them out of the wine jar. No one would go count them. So tasting one or two shouldn't be problem and completely safe. In a well-practiced fashion, Li Yu found an inner robe and pants from the wardrobe and put it on. Then he sat in front of the table and picked up a green plum. After being soaked in the wine had an amber color, but the plum itself was still a dark vivid green color. The sweet fragrant scent made Li Yu salivate. Li Yu stuffed the plum into his mouth and carefully took a bite. The green plum was sour and sweet. Inside the meat of the plum, there seemed to be a lot of remaining wine. This wine didn't seem to be strong but tasted sweet and was fragrant. He immediately fell in love with this taste. After eating one, he instantly nipped at another. Over at Ying Huan's side, the soup wasn't able to sober Yeshizi up at all. Yeshizi hugged a pillar inside Jing Estate, bawling on the top of his lungs. Ying Huan expressionlessly listened to him wail for a while. This kind of situation was indeed very hard for Wang Shi to handle. Ying Huan gave Ying Huan a blunt hand chop and Ying Huan immediately quieted. Then Ying Huan ordered Wang Shi to find a horse carriage and stuffed Ying Huan inside, sending him back to Chang'an Palace to be taken care of by the people of Chang'an Palace. After dealing with Ying Huan, Ying Huan was covered in sweat. Thinking there was still a carpiao inside his room, Ying Huan couldn't be bothered to clean his sweat before he rushed back. Who knows if the carpiao had changed form or not? Or if it would change back into a fish by the time he returned. When he pushed open the door, he immediately smelled the intense aroma of liquor in the air. The youth that he encountered several times before was sitting blankly on the floor, complexion flushed red, eyes glazed, one hand carrying the plate of plums, the other hand was by his mouth, licking his fingers. There was only one green plum left on the plate. What was going on? The questions that spun inside Ying Huan's heart instantly turned into finally, he changed form, upon seeing the young man. Secretly delighted, Ying Huan walked over slowly as he pondered about what to say to the human form of Xiao Yu. No. He couldn't speak. Even though Xiao Yu was human, it was still inconvenient. He still needed to find a brush and paper. Ying Huan's footsteps halted. He turned to find paper and brush. Suddenly Xiao Yu giggled out loud and jumped into his arms, happily rubbing against him. Master, you're back. The youth's voice was soft and sticky, carrying a husky tone. Ying Huan's heart trembled violently from this unexpected hug. He recalled not long ago that inside Jingtai Palace, the other called him Your Highness. How come now it was Master? Xiao Yu's cheeks were flushed red, his eyes were shining brightly. He carefully held up a green plum with both hands and started to stuff it into Ying Huan's mouth. Although Ying Huan felt this was very inappropriate, Xiao Yu was way too enthusiastic. Unable to refuse, he could only eat it out of the other's hands. The green plum that entered his mouth held an even thicker liquor content than the wine that he had drank in his ceramic cup. Startled, Ying Huan looked at the completely empty plate and various plum pits laying around on the floor. Did Xiao Yu eat all of these green plums? He actually didn't know that the plums inside the fermented wine would have this much alcohol. This fish was most probably drunk. Isn't it tasty? I left it for you. Lowering his head, Xiao Yu rubbed against Ying Huan's hand, asking with a wide smile. Inexplicably, Ying Huan nodded his head. Learning that the fish was thinking about him made Ying Huan felt warmth in his heart. Smelling the strong scent of liquor on the youth's body, Ying Huan suddenly realized, the fish clearly changed shape, but right now, Xiao Yu was so drunk that he forgot about it. No wonder this fish called him master. Such a big youth was definitely not the same as a fish that he could carry in his palm. Ying Huan didn't really know how to respond. He lightly touched the drunk little fish's arm and wanted to have the fish let go a little. Unexpectedly, this drunk little fish immediately collapsed feebly on top of him like he had no bones or something. Caught off guard, Ying Huan carried this petite youth as his heart beat so loud as if it was about to jump out of his chest. So tired. Want to sleep? The drunken little fish curled his lips and then yawned, his eyes were watery and bright. He was still thinking he was in his tyrant master's hands and Ying Huan was about to stroke fish, but fish was too tired and didn't want to be petted, so he perfunctorily rubbed against his master's hand. Ying Huan, who was rubbed against several times by the little drunken fish. Ying Huan felt like the sweat on his back never dried up. Hand hesitating for a moment, he guiltily wrapped it around the drunken little fish. Perhaps this would help the fish feel a little more comfortable. Since the fish was drunk and wanted to sleep, it's better to let the fish lay down. Although Ying Huan had good intentions and tried helping this fish onto the bed, the drunk little fish who almost had his eyes closed suddenly snapped them open again. Not here. Where's my fish tank? The little drunken fish placed his hands on his hips and looked left and right vigilantly. Ying Huan. How could Ying Huan let a person sleep inside the fish tank? Fortunately, the drunk little fish squinted his eyes and looked at the bed again and again. Seeing that the blankets were white, the drunk Xiao Yu must have thought that this was his white stone bed. The drunk Xiao Yu walked over by himself, laid down, forcefully kicking the jade pillow to the side. Jingwang planned to wait until the fish fell asleep, then go grab a hand towel to help him wipe his face. However, the fish had not slept for a moment when he got up again while rubbing his eyes. "Where's my water grass blanket?" "Jingwang? What is water grass blanket?" Jingwang recalled the green leaf that often covered the little carp's body. That was most likely the blanket this drunk little fish wanted. It's not like Jingwang could take out a water-dripping wet leaf out of the fish tank for this person to use. Thinking for a moment, he overturned his drawers and found a grass-green-colored blanket. Sweating all over, Jingwang covered the drunk little fish with the blanket. A familiar color flashed across the drunk little fish's eyes. He wrapped himself tightly in the blankets in satisfaction and mumbled under his breath, "Thank you, fake mountain." Jingwang. Jingwang attempted to wait until the fish fell asleep again, but the drunk little fish woke up again. With head swaying, the drunk little fish looked at his tyrant master before him for a while and then suddenly remembered that he still hadn't accomplished his mission yet. The system said repeating is not allowed. The drunk little fish furrowed his brows and said resentfully. Jingwang didn't know what the heck a system was. He was just trying to repeat the word in his mind when the drunk little fish cupped his face with both hands and giggled out loud. Teased by this fish, Jingwang felt completely excited and expectant. He thought that if this drunk carpia wanted to absorb essence, he would definitely cooperate until the very end. The little carpia pursed his lips, shifting Jingwang's face left and right. Then a soft bite landed on Jingwang's throat. Jingwang, who was suddenly getting nibbled on. End chapter. The disabled tyrant's beloved pet fish. Transmigration. Chapter 35. When Liu woke up, he was sleeping perfectly on the white stone bed inside the fish tank with the water grass blanket on top of him. Liu rolled around comfortably and then suddenly remembered what happened before he lost consciousness. He changed into a human in order to eat the green plums. The green plums were too tasty, so he couldn't resist eating a whole bunch. Unknowingly, he also drank a lot of the liquor held inside the green plums. At first he didn't notice anything. Then his head started getting fuzzy and dizzy. And then nothing. Startled, Liu jumped up from the white stone bed. He couldn't remember anything that happened after he started to feel dizzy. So how did he turn back into a fish? Don't tell him, someone, or Jingwang saw him. However, Liu looked at the grass blanket that was covering him perfectly and very quickly rejected his previous notion. To be able to lay steadily and be covered up with the water grass blanket, it must have been he who did it after turning back into a fish, not anyone else. If Jingwang saw him change forms, he would definitely be captured now. How could Jingwang still let him sleep comfortably inside the fish tank? Therefore, he must have turned back into a fish before Jingwang returned, jumped back into the fish tank himself and then fell asleep. Liu started to swim. Maybe because he got drunk, his fish body was a bit tired. After swimming for a while, he felt better. Liu hovered near the wall of the crystal tank, observing the movement in the room. The mess on the floor was already cleaned up. Jingwang was quietly sleeping on the bed. The fact that he ate the green plums and became intoxicated seemed to have never happened. Liu took a deep breath. All right. No news could be considered as good news. He probably didn't cause any trouble. Still stressed and hard-pressed over the main mission, he immediately entered the system after waking up to examine if there were any other hints for the intimate contact mission. Actually, he didn't need to pick face. He can pick neck or ear. According to Jingwang's favor towards him, worse comes to worse, fish can always bite first and then deal with the aftermath later. He was only a bit indecisive on which part to kiss. Unexpectedly, as soon as he entered the system, he was greeted by the notification of mission completion. Liu. Wasn't he just going to do the mission? Liu clicked open the Tyrant's Guppy Petfish mission and surprisingly discovered that this main mission that tormented him for a long time was already in a completed state. Liu's current surprise wasn't any less than when he woke up just now. He swiftly looked at the description under the mission and confirmed that the last step, an intimate contact with the Tyrant, was indeed completed. When did he finish it? How did he finish it? Liu was dumbstruck. System, when you were intoxicated. Liu trembled a bit. What did he do while he was drunk? Where did he end up biting Ying Huan? He definitely bit Ying Huan or the step wouldn't have completed. He just didn't know if it was on the neck or the ear. At least let him die knowing this. System, you bit the Tyrant on his throat. Liu felt like from today onward, his face can't be called a face anymore. As for whether he took this bite while in human form or fish form, the system didn't mention. Liu didn't suspect either. He thought it was definitely in fish form. Or he wouldn't be alive anymore, much less enter the system. What a blessing in disguise. The system asked him if he wanted to receive the reward. Since the intimate encounter was the last step, the reward this time was actually the rewards for the main mission, the Tyrant's Guppy Petfish. Liu pulled himself together from his depression and got ready to accept it. The main mission's reward was all his current attributes would be doubled. At first glance, this all range was somewhat unclear. However, Liu had already experienced increased in his tail's strength and his healing abilities amongst others. These were all attributes belonging to this transmigrated fish. Liu guessed that it should be related to these. Of course he clicked accept. He heard the system paused for a moment and said in a mechanical tone, "Congratulations, host. The current portable storage space capacity has increased to level 4. The duration of the transformation skill had doubled, tail strength has doubled and healing ability has also doubled." Liu was overjoyed. The capacity of the portable space storage and the duration of the transformation skill could be increased. The increase in the capacity of the portable storage space meant that he could keep more things within it. The duration of the transformation skill had doubled, meaning that from 1 hour, he could now transform for about 2 hours. Liu separately checked on his portable storage space and transformation skill. This was indeed the case. In his excitement, Liu already completely forgot his utter embarrassment just now. The Tyrant's Guppy Petfish mission was completely finished. However, the next main mission hasn't started yet. System, next, the cute pet system will adjust the upcoming main mission tasks in accordance to the host and the Tyrant Master's relationship. After the adjustment was done, the new main mission will be announced. Liu nodded his head. Because there was a result previously that was determined by his and Ying Huan's relationship, Liu didn't find this strange. He thought generously, if the system did not refresh the main mission for a while, it was like giving him a vacation. That's not bad. System, the side quest Become a Koi has reached its requirement. Would you like to start it, host? Did this mean he could do a side quest first? Liu was smarter this time and asked vigilantly, does this mission have a time limit? System, no time limit. Host only need to complete it. Like the other side quest, there is no punishment for failure. Due to how attractive the side quests were set up, they were usually very enticing. Liu, who was just thinking about taking a vacation, immediately accepted it. Okay, activate the side quest for me. He already had an impressive looking black and gold fish scales and secretly looked forward to becoming a koi for a long time now. Inside the system, the Become a Koi side quest lit up and allowed him to examine it. This side quest was the same as many of the other shitty tasks he's done before. The explanation wasn't much. It was only a small line of words. To become a koi, you must first have the quality of a koi. The hint was all mysterious. Liu couldn't understand it at the moment. However, he was very experienced by now and knew to take the mission and put it to the side for the meanwhile. There's no need to rush. There will definitely be an opportunity to scrutinize this later. Returning to reality, he was still basking in the happiness of completely finishing a main mission. He started to dash around speedily inside the water, swimming cheerfully back and forth. Right now, there were plenty of things inside the crystal tank. Other than the white stone bed, water grass, and all sorts of pearls piled up. Ying Huan also designed a fake mountain for him and a stone that could swing. Liu first swam to the swing and swung energetically there for a while. Perhaps because he was too excited, the swing somewhat couldn't hold him today and shook terribly. Liu then swiftly dove inside a cave in the fake mountain. For some reason, today the fake mountain looked especially attractive. Liu couldn't help but swim through several tunnels. The system really increased a lot of his attributes. Liu didn't really keep track of each and every one of them in the end. In any case, he will experience the useful stuff in the future naturally when the time comes. For example, right now, he could clearly feel that his swimming speed has increased. Liu played even more recklessly. He often dove between the caves inside the fake mountain in the fish tank. Logically speaking, there should be no danger at all. Yet unexpectedly this moment of extreme joy turned into sorrow. He swam swiftly into a narrow tunnel that he definitely could have squeezed through before and found himself stuck, unable to get out. Liu, what's going on? He was pretty nimble before while swimming around these caves. As he got stuck, he carefully looked around the vicinity and embarrassingly discovered that his body seemed to have also doubled in size as well. Before he was only a palm-sized little carp, capable of being held in one hand. Now, he was the size of 2 hands. No wonder the swing couldn't hold him anymore. The system had doubled his length and width as well. Liu wiggled with all of his strength but was unable to get free from the hole. Looks like not only length and width, even his height was changed. Half of Liu's fish body was completely stuck in the tunnel. He couldn't get himself out even if he used the strength of his fish tail. Moreover, even if he could use strength, there was no way to throw off the fake mountain. This crystal fish tank was the height of a person. The scale of the fake mountain placed inside wasn't small. If it collapsed, not only would it hit the fish, it would cause quite a commotion and disturb Ying Huan. The little carp didn't dare to move recklessly. He thought there would definitely be someone coming over to change water who would end up finding him. At wit's end, the little carp waited and waited until he started to fall asleep soundly again. Not long later, Ying Huan got up to look at the fish. Discovering that fish disappeared, Ying Huan was startled and immediately searched for the fish all over in the fish tank. In the end, he found a completely knocked out fish sleeping inside a cave in the fake mountain. Ying Huan's lips twitched. He used his finger to poke at this trouble-making fish. How come you gave up the nice white stone bed and ended up sleeping inside a cave? Yesterday, when Ying Huan was bitten on the throat by this carp Yao, he couldn't hold back his fire and was about to ruthlessly bite this drunk fish back. Who would have expected that after this carp Yao finished biting him, he would collapse on Ying Huan's chest and gave a live performance of transforming back to a fish. His clothes looked like they lost their supporting structure and slowly fell down. Even being prepared mentally, Ying Huan still received a great shock. There was Xiao Yu, already flailing uncomfortably because of dehydration. Thinking that the carp Yao might have changed back to his original form because of intoxication, Ying Huan quickly placed the dehydrated Xiao Yu back inside the fish tank. He remembered that Xiao Yu liked to lay on the stone bed and be covered by the water grass blanket. Therefore, he carefully set the fish on the white stone rock and covered the fish well with the water plant leaf. If fish woke up and remembered what happened last night, he can follow the flow and come clean. Yet, unexpectedly, he woke up and found that this fish seemed to have run off inside the fake mountain. Ying Huan recalled how last night, the drunk little fish called him fake mountain in his intoxication, and felt annoyed and amused at the same time. Liu was poked awake. Seeing it was his tyrant master, he happily wagged his tail non-stop. He struggled a bit with his fish body but couldn't get free. Unable to do anything, he could only pitifully stare at Ying Huan, begging for help with his eyes. Ying Huan was originally a bit hopeful that the other would remember what happened last night. But it looked like Xiao Yu was still only giving a series of fish responses. Ying Huan sighed. When Ying Huan got drunk, he almost crashed into a pillar. What could he expect from a fish? Since it's like this, he could only wait for another opportunity in the future. Xiao Yu paddled with its fish fins, unable to swim out. Ying Huan finally realized that it was stuck. Not knowing if he should laugh or cry, he hastily ordered people to come and move the fake mountain. The servants spent about the same time to make a cup of tea to move the mountain. The playful little carp was finally rescued and swam out waving its tail. Ying Huan held the fish up with both hands and patiently examined it for any injuries. The fish was very well. He also discovered why the fish got stuck. It's because his fish doubled in size. Ying Huan. How did this happen? Ying Huan was even capable of accepting that Xiao Yu was a carp yao. Getting larger wasn't really anything. However, lately this fish has been switching scales and increasing in size. Ultimately, it raised his vigilance. Was the carp yao about to encounter trouble? For example, the heaven tribulations thing that was described in those books? Was that why the fish needed to change shape non-stop? It's said that during a tribulation, snake yao and fox yao were very weak and required meticulous care. Ying Huan really didn't understand this heavenly tribulations at all. However, he was confident in taking care of a carp yao. Ying Huan ordered people to fix up the fake mountain, adjusting the caves, the swing, the white rock bed and everything according to Xiao Yu's current size. The crystal fish tank wasn't too cramped. Xiao Yu can still live inside it for a while. When the new fish tank is completed, it can move into the new place. The crystal bottle used to carry the fish and the teacups were no longer suitable now and also needed readjustments. A new setup needed to be prepared. Ying Huan had everything all thought out and summoned Wang Shi over. Wang Shi abruptly saw the little carp that doubled in size and took a cold breath. Your Highness, how did it grow like this? For something like this to happen overnight, wasn't it too quick? Ying Huan grabbed a handful of fish food and calmly gave Wang Gong a sideways glance. Wang Shi understood somewhat. His Highness meant, I fed it, got a problem? Since His Highness claimed that because he had fed it, then that's that. As long as there's a reason. Wang Shi hastily shut his mouth and went back to following Ying Huan's instructions. Wait. Ying Huan shook the jade bell again, calling Wang Shi back and giving him another list. Wang Shi gave the instructions a look and felt slightly surprised in his mind. This list was an order for many different colored clothes, shoes, and socks. Normally this wasn't anything, but Wang Shi noticed that the sizes written down was not His Highness measures. Wang Su raised his eyes slightly and gave His Highness a confused look. Ying Huan's appeared to be the same as usual except, there was a light red mark on the jut of his throat. Wang Shi was extremely alarmed. As a personal servant, he was extremely clear what a red mark at such an area meant. His Highness probably took a fancy to someone and most likely, they've been intimate recently. But Wang Shi managed everything inside the Jing estate no matter how big or small. How come he knew nothing about this? Ying Huan didn't volunteer the information himself. Were these clothes that he wanted as soon as possible for this person that he fancied? This wasn't completely impossible. In fact, this sense of mysteriousness actually made Wang Shi recall a person. Ever since returning to the estate from the imperial palace, Wang Gong had a suspicion in his heart. Last time inside Jingtai Palace, he once saw a little temptress in disheveled clothes acting extremely familiar with His Highness. Later he privately asked His Highness. His Highness told him that it was only because of that person's help that his eyes were unharmed. Wang Shi felt very thankful. It wasn't until later that he remembered that the little temptress seemed to be the thief that His Highness had been searching for all this time. the one that tried to steal fish and His Highness clothes the male concubine from some unknown family. The male concubine's whereabouts remained unknown after that. Wang Shi never saw this person again. However, after returning to the estate, His Highness summoned back all of the subordinates dispatched in search of this male concubine. Wang Shi felt this was reasonable since the male concubine helped His Highness. Yesterday night, after he returned from sending the completely intoxicated Yeshizi back to Chang'an Palace, he heard someone say that there was a youth with disheveled clothes inside His Highness's room. Wang Shi immediately dismissed all of the servants. The following day, he saw the red mark on His Highness's throat. Wang Shi intuitively thought about a certain male concubine. This was the only person he's seen being overly familiar with His Highness. His Highness wanted him to do work for Master Xiaoyu. Wang Shi was very happy. His Highness wanted him to purchase clothes. Wang Shi couldn't help but suspect that these clothes were for the male concubine. His Highness wasn't only raising a fish, he was also hiding a spoiled pet, most likely hiding someone else's male concubine and planning to hide this information. Wang Shi's heart was in complete chaos as he felt bitter and pleased at the same time. However, because of his unconditional loyalty to His Majesty, he could only pretend to be blind to this. Forcing himself to purchase all of the clothing, he placed it in the designated wardrobe inside the room. As for where the male concubine lived, Wang Shi still not managed to work that out yet. He believed that one day, His Highness would order them to meet each other in person. When Li Yu was eating fish food, he also saw the red mark on the jut of Jing Wang's throat. The little carp felt his face heat up. What else could it be other than a fish bite? The Tyrant Master's body was special. Any little marks were extremely obvious. Although it was probably not as serious as it looked, Li Yu knew he was drunk and couldn't remember anything. Even more so, he had no sense of propriety. Who knows, maybe he bit down really hard. He bit Jingwang, but it's not like he could let Jingwang bite him back. Li Yu silently apologized and turned around to grab a piece of peach blossom cookie for Jingwang. Again, Jingwang didn't touch the fish's cookie. With a smile, he tapped the fish on the head. The fish felt a little ticklish from being tapped. How come he still hasn't been told what being tapped on the head means? After Li Yu's size doubled, even the amount of food he needed doubled. After eating the fish food, he secretly dragged back the peach blossom cookie that he wanted to give away in apology. Can't help it, if fish didn't eat, it would get hungry. Jingwang also noticed that Li Yu ate a lot more than before. Not only was he not angry over the stolen plate of green plums, he even started to place a lot of tasty and good-looking desserts and snacks inside the room to tease the fish. Li Yu couldn't stand the enticement and drooled over everything that was on display. Jingwang seemed to be pretty busy recently as he kept heading out and only returning hastily late at night. Encountering something he really wanted to eat, Li Yu would change into human form to eat it. He had enough time to change into a human and change back. He didn't need to worry at all. As he ate, he thought, he was on vacation anyways. Once, after he finished changing and went to look through the wardrobe, he even discovered some new sets of clothes, shoes, and socks. They were different from the inner robe and pants that Jingwang usually wore. There was a brief note stuffed inside the clothes, stating that because the estate was checking clothing inventory, Jingwang's old outfits from his youth will be temporarily placed here. Li Yu couldn't tell how could these clothes could be considered old. However, as a prince from ancient times, Jingwang got a lot of new clothes made every season. There were more clothes made and never worn than clothes used. It's hard to say, perhaps these were clothes that Jingwang never wore in his youth. Not to mention, they were already dried and very clean. The size was pretty fitting for Li Yu as well. Li Yu picked out one that had embroidered gold leaves to wear. He even took out a snow-white pair of shoes and socks. Whenever he changed into a human before, he was pretty much barefooted. It was hard to find a chance to wear shoes and socks, so Li Yu happily put them on. After changing clothes, Li Yu would sit down and pick out snacks that he liked to eat. Sometimes there would also be a well-prepared pot of tea on the table. Jingwang didn't drink cold tea. If the tea got cold, servants would come change it. Li Yu thought that it would be a waste not to drink it, so he secretly poured a cup to wash down the sweet taste of the dessert. Next to the wardrobe, someone had placed a bronze mirror. After Li Yu changed shape, the first thing he often did was find clothes to wear. With this mirror, everything was good. He often walked in front of this mirror, making silly faces at it sometime. Last time, a cook at Jing Estate got punished for helping him. He still remembered that auntie to this day. Without an identification token, it was better for him not to wander around outside randomly. He was already satisfied enough with being able to eat a little and drink some tea. Li Yu found amusement for himself, completely unaware that this bronze mirror showed his every move and action into the other room right next door. In the other room, Jingwang was separated from Li Yu by just a thin layer of wall, watching him with single-minded focus. After witnessing the person transform into a fish, Jingwang also wanted to experience seeing the fish transform into a human. Knowing that if he was present, Xiao Yu would definitely not transform, he came up with a plan to feign leaving. However, he very soon discovered that once his gaze landed on the young man Xiao Yu, he couldn't make himself look away again. Every time Xiao Yu changed clothes, Jingwang had to force himself to lower his head. He wanted to look, yet at the same time, he didn't feel it was very appropriate. Xiao Yu bit him. He also wanted to bite fish. End chapter.